Hey, what's going on, Lorain County High School Hoops fans? Welcome back to another episode of In the Paint, brought to you by our friends at First Federal Savings of Lorain. I'm your host, Rocco Nushi, the one and only Kristen Bauer behind the camera as always. We are live here at the Chronicle Telegram, here to break down another week of exciting high school basketball action on the Lorain County front. So let's dive into the boys this time around. I know last week we talked a lot about the girls. Let's talk about the boys this time around. And first and foremost, a huge shout out to Midview High School for hosting the 23rd annual DeFranco Memorial Classic this past Saturday. All 5 games were heard live on WEOL, and it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of competitive games, some really close back and forth action throughout the whole course of the afternoon into the evening. So again, huge shout out to Midview, and a big thank you to Midview for allowing us to come broadcast the 23rd annual DeFranco Memorial Classic. At that DeFranco, North Ridgeville got a huge win over Lorain, and those Rangers now are 2-0. Following that win against Lorain, up with a win against Holy Name. This is a really exciting North Ridgeville Ranger team under head coach Ben Chase. A lot of their younger guys from over the past couple of years, they've matured now into juniors and seniors, and they're really playing some good basketball. Colin Jones, he had 21 points in that win against Holy Name. Owen Powell added 18. Jaden Parrish added 14. So again, they're a really deep team. They can hurt you with a lot of different ways, a lot of different weapons. And so they should be a really fun team to watch in SWC play throughout the course of the season. Elsewhere in the SWC, Amherst got a win at the DeFranco over Orange. They followed that up with another victory over Clearview. 55 total turnovers between the Comets and the Clippers in what was a bit of an ugly game, but the Comets pull away with a 60-41 win. Tristan Young led the way for Amherst. He had 22 points. Landon Bray followed that up with 14. And the Comet defense, they've come to play in the early goings of the season. They held the Clippers to just 33% shooting. So Comets getting it done on both ends of the floor so far here in the new campaign, looking like a real strong bounce back year so far for Coach Pat Bray and his Comets. Elsewhere in the SWC, Midview, they're off to a 2-0 start. Their game against Keystone at the DeFranco was an instant classic, a really back and forth game, a game that Midview was down double digits at the half in, but they find a way to get the job done. David Moore had 19 points in that game. And how about Ethan Elbert, one of the cooler stories from the evening? 4 years removed from the game of basketball. He's back in it this year. He knocked down the 2 game-winning free throws against Keystone in the final 20-25 seconds or so. So really nice effort for Midview, and especially for Ethan Elbert. Really cool scene for him. Again, away from the game for 4 years, comes back, knocks down game-winning free throws in their season opener. So doesn't really get any more, storybook than that. So big shout out to Midview. They're off to a 2-0 start. They got a win over Oberlin after that win against Keystone. Elyria, tough one against Sandusky at the DeFranco, but they bounced back in a huge way against Bay earlier this week, a 63-60 thriller. Elyria scoring 9 unanswered points in the final 48 seconds to get the job done. Huge pick-me-up win for Coach Brett Larrick and his team. Jaden Crutcher leading the way. He had 23 points for the Pioneers in that one. Elsewhere across Lorain County, let's go to Vermilion, where the Sailors are off to a 1-0 start with a win over Western Reserve. 4 Sailors finished in double digits. Wyatt German, grandson of PA announcer Cliff German, owner of German's Villa. He had 15 points in the contest. AJ Gerber finished with 11. Then Riley Kearns and Thomas Ure each had 10 points. So 4 Sailors in double digits. They're looking like a real strong, balanced team here in the new year. We'll see what they can do once SBC play gets underway. And finally, Open Door. They're off to a 1-0 start after a 73-48 thrashing of Oberlin. RJ Penny and Julius Moon led the way for the Patriots with 16 points each. And Anthony Januzzi, son of head coach Alan Januzzi, he poured in 14 as well. So a lot of deep teams here in Lorain County in the early goings. We're seeing a lot of teams finish with 3, 4, 5 guys in double-digit scoring, and Open Door no exception there with 3 guys in double digits. So the Patriots off to a good start under head coach Alan Januzzi. So there's kind of the past week or so on the boys front. We'll mix it up as the year goes on with boys and girls, but wanted to give the boys some love this time around after giving the girls some extra attention last week. So what's coming up this week on WEOL? Well, speaking of those Open Door Patriots, they play host to Amherst this Friday night, a game you can hear on WEOL, a battle of unbeatens here in the early going. So certainly looking forward to seeing how this one plays out on Friday night. Again, Amherst at Open Door, about 7 o'clock. We'll join it on AM 930 and 100.3 FM WEOL. And then Saturday, we keep things going. How about this, folks? Our first doubleheader of the year at 12:30. We have a girls game. I'll actually be on the call for that one as Elyria welcomes in North Olmsted. And then we're back at it at 7 o'clock on the boys' side as Lake Ridge welcomes in Wellington. So again, a doubleheader on Saturday. Elyria and North Olmsted girls at 12:30. Lake Ridge and Wellington boys coming up at 7. So there's kind of the weekend ahead of you on WEOL. Plenty of high school hoops to take in across Lorain County. Should be a fun weekend, no question. So that'll do it for this week. Good luck to all of our local teams this week and weekend as they get the early season continuing underway. So for Kristen Bauer behind the camera, I'm your host, Rocco Nushi, saying thank you for tuning in to another episode of In the Paint, brought to you by First Federal Savings of Lorain. We'll see you guys next time.